the same thing today, but now we have 2 groups. So we got 24 people that are eventually going to be kind of on this roof or operating on this roof, okay? Just make it work the best we can. We're going to do the same thing we did yesterday, doing an off-beam offensive louver, but we're going to throw that second saw into play, okay? So we're going to do a 4-person 2-saw operation or a 3-person 2-saw operation. I'll show you both of the techniques, and I'll leave it up to you guys which technique you want to use, okay? If everybody wants to do a 4-person one, great. Let's try and make one crew do a 3-person one. If everybody wants to do 3-person, let's try and make one group do a 4-person. That makes sense. Good with that? Okay. Not necessarily everybody's going to be in every position today. This rotation is really based upon time. So the quicker we can resheet or patch, the quicker we can get more companies up here operating, more cut time for you guys. All right. Our very last one, instead of doing an offensive louver, we'll transition the same exact cut into a strip. We're not going to do a full strip because you can see that area is comp there, but we'll do a 4-panel strip. After that, we'll go over to our conventional roof that has 1x6, and I'll show you a with construction strip with 1x6, okay? Typically we do some against construction stuff on 1x6. This time we'll do a with construction strip on that. Good? Okay, so again, we talked about laddering the uninvolved area, working ourselves to the involved area. We're gonna cut the same area that we did yesterday when you were with me. Okay, so we're working off of this ladder. We're gonna drop our inspection cuts on this panel, hopefully 3 or 4 on that panel. We'll put patches down. We'll drop our smoke indicator on the fire side of the beam, smoke indicator on our change of direction. We'll go up and we're actually gonna cut both panels this time, a full 16x4 hole. Good? Our tool order for a 4-person operation is gonna be hook, saw, saw, hook. Good?
Okay.
So I got our lead hook here. Go ahead, Danny. Yeah. So Danny's our lead hook. He's going to be on our purlin, followed by our saw. Another saw behind him. And then a hook. Okay. If everybody go over to the comp area again, we'll walk through our demo. Inspection cut, smoke indicator on the fire side, smoke indicator on our change of direction. Most of the time, all those diagnostic cuts are going to be done by our first saw in line, okay? If our second saw wants to practice and do it as well, by all means go for it. Good? They're going to come up the beam, dropping smoke indicator holes as needed. Again, like I said, I like to do a smoke indicator hole ahead of where I'm going to do my offensive louver. So I'm going to drop a smoke indicator hole here, heavy pressurized smoke, tell my crew let's back up. This is where I'm going to do my offensive louver, okay? We're going to leave this panel uncut. We're going to cut these 2 panels. We're going to patch these 2 panels. Good? So to actually do that operation, Danny's going to come up ahead of where we're going to cut our hole. Our first saw in line is also going to come up ahead of where we're going to cut the hole, okay? The second saw in line is going to do the first set of cuts. Remember, what's our very first cut when we're doing that 5-cut center after louver? It's that head cut, finding that outside member. Do we want to find the purlin in this case? No, we stay 6 inches off of it. So we drop that number 1 cut. We go to our number 2 cut, which is head cut back towards the ladder. He's going to go purlin to purlin, purlin to purlin. Remember, our lead hook can ID this first purlin for us. Our second hook is going to ID the next 2 purlins. Good? Like you guys said, it's just that skim cut. A couple of groups, we had some people overreaching on their cut. We'll give a couple inches on our hole just to make it a little bit quicker, a little bit easier. Good? So he's going to do that skim cut. Purlin to purlin. We're not rolling the purlin. Remember, we're stopping, going on the other side and starting. Good? As soon as there's enough room, our first saw in line is going to do the second set of cuts. Okay, he's going to do our parallel cut. He's going to do our base cut. And then he's going to do parallel cut. He's going to bump over, parallel, base, parallel. Remember, these guys, after you've made your cut, you guys want to bump down a little bit to get out of his way. Okay, always be cognizant of being in each other's way. When he's on his last cut of his second hole, we can go ahead and louver this panel. Remember, louver it from a safe distance, not right over the hole. Heat and smoke come out, you've done your job, nothing comes out. Flip your hook over, punch through that craft paper. Questions there? Pretty straightforward. Often the question comes up, when the second saw is done with his head cut, can he then work himself back parallel base parallel to the middle? And the answer is yes and no. On an offensive louver, no. Because it's so quick that we're kind of on each other's heels. When we take this technique and we stretch it out to a strip cut, by all means, that guy can work himself parallel base parallel back to the middle. We'll talk about that a little bit too. Questions there?
Bark is number one! Bark is number one!
Okay. 3-person operation. We have our lead hook, we have our sawyer, and we have that officer right here. He's got the saw running with the brake on, strapped over his shoulder, also has a hook. Okay? We're going down this beam, dropping in those smoke indicator holes, pulling out our purlins. Good? We determine this is where we're going to cut our hole. Lead hook, lead saw, go past the hole. I come up, I know where this purlin is because he's going to ID it for me. I come back, I can feel this purlin, I kind of have an idea of where it's at. I drop my hook at that purlin, I come up, wrap the strap around my wrist, and now I'm doing that head cut, that skin cut. When there's room, he's going to bump in, parallel base parallel. When I'm done making my head cut, I'm going to park the saw into the roof. Grab my hook, stand back. Again, I'm the officer. It allows me to watch my guys from a safe distance. Okay? If you only get 3 people on a commercial roof and you want 2 saws, your officer has to do a little bit of work, but it's not too much that he can't now come and watch his guys. Okay?
Okay, so all you guys that are not involved, just come along here.
Parallel base parallel louver, parallel base parallel louver.
Okay, it's very important.
To get off the roof, again, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to sound us off the roof now that I'm free to sound. And he's going to grab the saw on his shoulder.
Is this a heat hole?
Take it off the roof. Good? Questions there?
Well, it's an offensive hole.
Pretty straightforward?
Heat hole is on
Yes. Yeah, let's talk about that.
okay. All right, so I start coming
So
out.
what we're talking about here is, as Danny's coming up this beam, he's calling out those purlins. Okay? I have to kind of guess where that middle purlin is. Often it's not too bad because there's some sag in the roof on panelized roofs. I have an idea of where it's at. If I have skylights, I know it's probably in line with the skylights. Okay? But another option is, as Danny comes up and he's sounding this beam, anytime he crosses a purlin, you're going to come up and you're going to do a curve cut on it. Okay? What a curve cut is just, all we're doing is just making a quick mark just to mark that purlin with the chainsaw. We're not cutting into the roof at all. We're just scoring that comb. Okay? Not really going to see it on our OSB, but if you score it on the comp, I'm gonna see a nice black line like that. Okay? That just helps me on a 3-person operation. Don't have to do it on a 4-person operation because you got this last guy that's gonna ID him. Good? Questions there?
Are you just doing that quick curve cut like the whole way, or just
Nope.
a
No,
little bit of knots?
And it should be up higher where his head cut is. Okay?
Thank you.
When he's doing his parallel base parallel, he knows where to stop his base based upon my head cut, where I stop my head cut. Okay? So all he's doing is, you can see that mark right there, that's probably perfect. Just make sure it's on the purlin. Good?
Could be right there, right?
That's it. You can do a cross cut, a straight down cut. It's just a mark. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You can even put an asterisk right there if you handy with the chainsaw. Put a P.
Drop it back in there. Put your initials.
Good? So again, we did a 4-person offensive louver, a 3-person offensive louver. We've taken that 5-cut center after louver, that basic center after louver, we've turned it 90 degrees, we've stretched it out, we've dropped a cut, made it an offensive louver off beam. Now we can stretch it out even further and make it a strip cut, all based upon that 5-cut technique. Okay? For our strip cut, what we're going to do is, again, we're going to cut from exterior wall all the way to exterior wall. In this case, it's only going to be 4 panels. So when we go down, come on up, be my hook, and I'll have a new Sawyer in here. So remember, when we're doing a strip cut, we've already done an offensive louver over here, okay? Whether it's an off beam or an off purlin, doesn't matter. We've done our offensive louver. We're backing up a couple beam spacings, give ourselves space for time, and we're gonna cut our entire strip, okay? Same thing applies. Danny's gonna come up. In this case, he's at the end of the building. He can't stand out on the beam, so he's just gonna back down the perimeter. Okay, so back up. Same thing on our lead saw. Second saw in line, just what we did before. Okay, on our offensive louver. He's gonna reach out, he's gonna do his head cut. But this time, instead of a 16-foot head cut, it is a wall-to-wall head cut. The key here, hold on really quick. You wanna ID this one, ID every one, and ID a high for them. The key here is do not overreach. If you're doing a 16-foot head cut and you have your BA on and you're overreaching, it's gonna take a little bit more time. You're doing a wall-to-wall head cut and you're overreaching, it's gonna take a hell of a lot longer, okay? So don't overreach. Give yourself a little bit of that buffer zone. Good? There's nothing that says, remember, we're on good lumber when we're doing this strip cut. There's nothing that says, if this guy gets tired, can he swap tools with the hook? Yeah, just swap tools really quick and say, hey, you got the rest of the head cut. Good? As soon as there's room, this guy's gonna bump up, parallel, base, parallel. Parallel, base, parallel, parallel, base, parallel. Good? When this guy's done with his head cut, like I said, he can do parallel, base, parallel, working himself into the center. The difference here is on an offensive louver, whenever we cut the panel and we were working on the next one, we louvered, correct? We cut the panel, we louvered. On a strip, what we want to try and do is cut the entire thing and leave it unlouvered, okay? Reason being is, if I open up that large of a hole, am I initially going to get heat and smoke out of it? A little bit. Maybe a little bit, but my offensive hole should be taking care of it. I'm back on the building quite a bit. But if I cut this hole and I'm louvering as I go, what am I doing? I'm drawing that fire towards us. I'm drawing that heat towards us. Now, I may not have time to cut this entire strip. So what I want to do is try and cut the entire strip. Then we're going to spread out. Our sawyers are going to park their saws. They're going to grab their axes. Hooks are going to louver with the hooks. Sawyers are going to louver with the axes. Okay? In this case, each person's going to have one louver. realistically, you may be responsible for 5 or 6 different louvers as you're coming off the building, okay? Also, remember on a strip cut, ideally, we want to make sure there's a hose line right below us, because that's where we're making our stand, okay? We've determined this is where our strip is, this is where we're going to make our stand. We want to cut our entire hole, make sure the guys below us have a hose line ready. Go ahead and move. Okay? Questions there? Like yesterday, when we cut our hole, we're going to leave the first layer here. Okay, leave the perimeter here. We have a bunch of patch panels. They run lengthwise, great. If they don't, run them perpendicular long off of the beam. These guys are going to give us some large pieces from their drops and their pullbacks, so most of the pieces should be able to fit lengthwise, which is nice. Good? So we're going to do 3 or 4 person operation, completely up to you guys. We'll resheet as quick as we can, and we'll go through as many operations as we possibly can. Take a quick break, and we'll go do the 1x6. All right? You gotta wait till they're done talking.